Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to teach you how to make money online. I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm just going to give you more ideas so that you can go out there and figure out a way to have alternative ways to make money and bring in more into your bank account. Let's dive in. I want to open up your mind because we have this beautiful thing that's called the internet. And I don't think most people are using it to the capacity that they could. And about 3 years ago, I did a version of this podcast episode, and I like to put one out every 18 months or so and just talk about any updates, how the internet has changed, all of that. And I got a message after about a year after the very first time I ever put this episode out and talked about how to make money online. And this is what the message said. I'll read it to you. It's from my Instagram. It says, "Hi, Rob. I'm unsure if you'll see this, but it's 1 year since I listened to that one episode about making money online and I'm choosing to put in my notice. Since then, I've grown a 7-figure business, written a best-selling book, hosted sold-out shows in London, LA, New York, Toronto, and New Zealand, got a 2-page feature in Vogue, featured in Business Insider, BBC, Oxford Women in Business, got a slot on a national radio and weekly column in my country, New Zealand, and been paid 5 figures to speak at events and helped over 4,000 students worldwide through our course. I have had children and adults stop me on the street and thank us for the work that we do. None of this would have happened if your episode didn't push me to believe in myself and create change, and I knew that I had inside of me. 1,000,000 times over, thank you." So I'm telling you that not to toot my own horn at all. It's because I actually really didn't do shit. I just made an episode that said, hey, there's many ways to make money online. You should go for it. And this is a great example of somebody who listened to it and then made over $1 million in the next 12 months and had all of these accomplishments. And so I get this message all the time from people where they're like, how do I make money online? How do I grow an online business? What exactly should I do? And I'm not going to give you a direct answer, but I'm just going to try to give you a ton of suggestions. Because one thing that I realize is that now that I've been in the business of online businesses and marketing, and I've met tons of people that do tons of different things, is that no matter what you're interested in, I've seen people make money online in the craziest of ways. And one of the ways that I saw that's actually a crazy one, I spoke about it like 2 months ago on the podcast. There's this guy on YouTube that makes so much money on YouTube, and he has a 100,000 gallon vivarium, which is not a terrarium. I guess it's something different. I can't give you the definition of the difference, to be honest with you. But he makes these epic videos of this giant vivarium, which is basically an aquarium that he puts non-aquatic animals in. And he has it's this beautiful cinematic shooting, and he makes it dramatic, and he puts in spiders into it, and he puts in a mini alligator into it, and then he puts in crickets, and he basically creates this giant, I guess it's kind of tiny compared to the world, a tiny ecosystem, but it takes up his entire living room. And he has millions of subscribers. It's I think it's called Ants of Canada or something like that. And when I did the math, as far as how much money this guy's making off of his YouTube, based off of how many millions and millions and millions of views, he's making, according to my math, at least $500,000 a year off of his YouTube views, which shows you he literally has an obsession with his vivarium. And because he's so good at film and he's so good at dramatizing it, millions upon millions of people are being entertained and watching it. And so it's not about what I think you should do or what some other person thinks you should do. It's what are you interested in? Because if you're interested in it, there's a really good chance there's other people interested in it in this world. And so the one thing I want you to know about me is I want, if somebody doesn't like what they do, if someone likes what they do, I don't want them to break out of the rat race. But if someone doesn't like what they do, which according to statistics is about 85% of people, I want them to break out of the rat race. I want them to find something that they love to do, because the majority of your waking hours is spent doing something in some sort of job. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you should be doing something different. And I always say there's a million ways to make $1 million online. The biggest problem though is that most of us are raised before the internet and making money on the internet was a thing. We were raised by parents who, weren't able to make money online because it didn't exist. And so the paradigm is starting to shift, where we used to, when I was raised, I'm 38 years old right now. When I was raised, we didn't have the internet. The internet came in when I was a kid. My mom didn't have the internet. And so I was always raised, go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a job, all of that. The paradigm has completely started to shift where it's like, you don't really need to go to school anymore. You can if you like, but you really don't need to. And the school system, what it does though, is it's been created to make you a worker, not a business owner. You get told what to do. You have to sit in a chair. If you want to pee, you have to raise your hand and ask for permission. You have to wait for the bell before you can leave. You have to walk into school at a certain time. You have to leave at a certain time, exactly like a 9-to-5 job. And when you look at college, what's the point of college? The point of college is to get a job. And if you think about it, why don't you just go out there and figure out how to make money on your own if you don't enjoy what you're doing? And so the whole paradigm is starting to shift where it's not just time to work equals money earned. It's like, hey, how can I actually start to figure out other ways of making money? And maybe you do enjoy what you do, but you want to make more money. And so you're just like, I'm going to create a side hustle on the internet. And so I'm going to give you a ton of different ideas. What I really want to do and all I really want to do is open up your minds to there might be something different. That's really what it is. If you work in accounting and you're not really enjoying being an accountant anymore, there's options. I'm not saying you have to quit your accounting job today and then go to like an internet marketing conference. What I want you to do is I want you to be like, hey, what else is there that I could do? And then just start going on a journey. For me, my journey started in 2012. I had worked, traditional jobs. And then in 2012, I quit my job. I went and backpacked Europe for 3 months and I started meeting people who had kind of like alternative lifestyles. Some people would work for 6 months, save up, quit their job, travel for a year, come back, find a random job, save for 6 months, quit their job, go for a year, 3 months, whatever it was. And that's just kind of how they lived their life. And I never wanted to like quit, get a new job, quit, get a new job. So I was like, I need to figure out some sort of way to make money. What is the way? And I started thinking about it and I started researching it over and over and over again. I was watching different things that would pop up on like businessinsider.com and seeing how that works. And then the very first time I made any money online was I had this podcast, and there was no way to make money in podcasts back in 2015 when I started it. And I want you to know this, once you make your first dollar online, it's over because you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. And back in 2015, Amazon and Audible had this thing, and Audible would give you a free trial. And basically I would say, hey, if you want a free trial, go to this website and sign up for a free trial. And Amazon would pay $15 for every single person that you got to sign up for a free trial. It cost them nothing. They got paid, and I got paid $15. And I remember one morning I woke up, and while I was asleep, I made $15. And that was it. It was only $15. It wasn't like I could retire, but I made $15. And I was like, oh, holy shit, this is real money. And I just made it while I was asleep. I was like, this is crazy. That means that there's other ways of doing this. And then so, I started going to, and I've told this story before, but the way I kind of really started to break out of it was I was like, I wonder if there's any meetups or networking groups that are in Austin that are other people that make money online. So I Googled like internet marketing or online marketing Austin. And this event popped up. It was a monthly event. It's called Internet Marketing Party. I've become good friends now with the guy who owns Internet Marketing Party. He's been running it for like 15, 16 years, something like that. And it was just a monthly event, get together, and they would have one speaker come in. And I remember the very first time that I went, the speaker was a guy who was 1 year younger than me and had been making over $1 million online for the past 10 years. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's a thing? I didn't even realize that was a thing. And so I met him and I talked to him, and he was like a normal guy. And I was like, he's so normal. Like if he could do it, I could do it. I just have to figure out what he's doing. And then I met this other guy, this really shy guy, and he was incredibly, incredibly shy. And I remember that I was sitting there and talking to him, and I was like, so what do you do? And he's like, oh, I run Facebook ads for companies. I was like, that's cool. I was like, how's that going for you? And he started talking, and he started opening up a little bit. And I found out that he was making every month, and he's like one of the shyest people I've ever met, anywhere between $200,000 to $300,000 a month. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how is this real? And I just got open. And then I met another guy his name was Ian, and Ian was a copywriter, and he taught people how to write copy, how to send emails, how to do blogs, all of that. And he was making a bunch. So I was like, this is nuts. Like I just went to an event. I met 3 people that just blew my mind. And that's really what I want to do, is just to give you guys options for what could possibly be something you could do. And then you can go out and research and see what it is that you want. Because I would love to get another message a year from today from 2, 3, or 5 people that have been listening to this episode. And they're like, I just opened up my business a year ago and I'm making 6 figures or I'm making 7 figures or whatever it might be. And so I'll give you some examples of people that I know personally and how they make money online. Okay. I know quite a few people that are Facebook ads masters. They run other people's Facebook ads. Now that's an acquired skill set. All of these basically are acquired skill sets. So you'd have to come in fresh and then you have to learn the skill set. And then you just get really good at it and you can make money doing it. So I know people that run other people's Facebook ads. I know people that are copywriters, like I just said. So they write articles, they send emails, they write copy for Instagram reels, for landing page videos. I know people that make YouTube videos and make a bunch of money making YouTube videos as well. I know people who make money doing coaching. That's what I do. I teach people how to grow on coaching businesses. I know people who have Shopify stores. One of my good friends has a business on Shopify and they do about $5 million a year. And they've been doing that for quite a while now. I have a friend who started an insurance company online. I have people that I know that have Etsy stores and they sell jewelry online and on Etsy stores. They sell crystals online on Etsy stores. I know people who make videos on Facebook and make Facebook ad revenue. I have a friend who makes about $37,000 a month on Facebook ad revenue, which means that they just make videos that are so entertaining. People watch them. Facebook puts ads in them and then they pay them for their ads. I know people that do sponsorships and they do them on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I know somebody who runs a clothing brand. I know someone who runs a clothing brand and he makes all of these different clothing for other influencers. And I know one influencer, I won't name the name, one of the biggest influencers in the world, and he only does drops. And so about every 2 months, he'll do a clothing drop, which is just, hey, we've got a limited amount, and he'll make about $1 million every time he does a drop. And it's sold out over 24 hours. I know people that sell courses online for photography, for how to be a coach, how to grow your business, how to run Facebook ads, how to do affiliate marketing, all kinds of different courses. I know people that do affiliate marketing. I know a lot of people that do podcasting, obviously. Like I said, writing emails for other people. I know 3 friends specifically who had supplement companies and sold their supplement companies. Every one of those 3 friends, and I hope I don't sound like it's not my intention to be like, oh my God, look at me. I know people. That's stupid. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want to open your mind to it and I'm trying to blow your mind to be like, oh my God, there's way more than I thought. I know 3 separate guys who own supplement companies and all sold their supplement companies. And when they cashed out of it, brought in over $100 million each, which is insane. So selling supplements, I know quite a few people who do that. I know people who do jump rope courses. I know people that do harmonica courses. I know people that teach, I have a friend that teaches people how to dunk and sells courses on how to grow your abs and your hamstrings so that you can dunk. I have a few people that I know that sell on Amazon. I have one friend that I know that teaches people how to sell on Amazon. I know people that do freelancing on Upwork and Fiverr. I know somebody that does interior design in 3D that does it on Upwork and Fiverr. I know people that do social media management where they manage other people's social medias. I know people that do YouTube. I know people that do use AI to write books for Kindle, and they just write tons of books a year and they make money doing it that way. I know people that do consulting. So they are really good at one thing. They have applied knowledge on something, and then they teach other people who want to get good at that. So they do consulting with it. I know people that are freelance writers. I know people that are ghost writers. And so really what it comes down to is what are you interested in? And I don't think that I want to give you any answers. I just want to give you questions. And the questions are like, what are you interested in? What do you want to do? Is it, if you love what you do, fine, you can definitely keep doing that. But there are a million ways to make a little bit of money online, just some extra cash, to make a lot of money online. And, the way that I've met all of these people is by putting myself out there. I am an introvert. I prefer not to go to networking events. But when I was getting into this industry, I was like, I need to meet new people. I need to put myself out there. I need to meet new people. I need to find other people. And so, like I said, I started going to Internet Marketing Party. One of my biggest mentors I ever met was at an event in Orlando like 6 years ago, which is put on by ClickFunnels, which is a landing page company and funnels company. And it was called theirs was actually called Funnel Hackers Live. And I met him. He sat next to me. He was wearing a watch that I thought was cool. I love watches. We started talking about watches. I was like, what do you do? He told me what he did. He said, what do you do? I was like, oh my God, I do almost the exact same thing. We became good friends. His company was way more successful than mine at the time. So I just learned from him and I grew from being around him and we became good friends. So there's, if you want to go to events, I recommend going to events. There's a couple events that are really big that, teach how to make money online, and you can meet tons of people that make all of different ways to make money online. There's Traffic and Conversion Summit, which usually happens in San Diego. There's Funnel Hackers Live. They go all over the place. There's Social Media Examiner. I think they still do a summit. There's other people's webinars where they teach you what they do. They might try to sell you something at the end, but they do at least teach you what they do. I would say more than anything else, I just recommend that you just open your mind to it. Because with your reticular activating system, once your mind is open to it, you're going to start noticing opportunities in people and places, and you'll start meeting people and going, oh man, I should have a conversation with this person. They do something online. Maybe I should go grab coffee with them. I will say that sometimes you got to spend money to make money. Sometimes you do have to, spend money in a course. Sometimes you do have to spend money to go to get a ticket to a conference, and you've got to fly to the conference, and you've got to do a hotel. But, what I would recommend is that you go and start searching for, the city that you live in, for the country that you live in, and just put online marketing. And, there's websites like digitalmarketer.com, who's run by one of the best digital marketers in the world, a guy named Ryan Dice. There's socialmediaexaminer.com. There's ClickFunnels that does it. I just want to open your mind to it, where it might not be, you might not make your first dollar today. It might not be for 2 years. It might not be for 3 years. I started getting into it in 2012. I didn't make my first dollar online until like January of 2016. So you're talking about 3.5, 4 years, whatever it was. I started meeting people in 2015 that were doing it. And so what I really want to do is open up your mind and have you start thinking differently. Have you start thinking, maybe you don't like being an accountant anymore. Maybe you don't want to be an engineer anymore. Maybe you don't want to be a nurse or a teacher anymore. There's options. There's things that you can do. And I just really want to open up your minds to it to try to make some sort of change. What I do is I teach people how to grow coaching businesses online. And that's an option. There's just many ways to do it. I want to open up your mind to it. And I want you to realize that where you are doesn't always have to be the way that the place that you stay forever. So I hope that in 12 months, I will get more messages on Instagram from you guys listening to this episode right now about how you listen to this, open up your mind, and start a successful online business. If it happens, message me on Instagram, Rob Dial Jr., ROBDIALJR. So that's what I got for you for today's episode. If you love this episode, please share it on your Instagram stories. Tag me in it. Like I said, it's Rob Dial Jr., ROBDIALJR. The only way this podcast grows is from you guys sharing it. So I greatly appreciate you every single time that you share it. And with that, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every single episode. Make it your mission to make somebody else's day better. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing day and you go out and start your businesses.